What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on The Flash Season 4. Now this will be my review for Episode 7, Therefore I Am, and obviously next week is Crisis on Earth X crossover with all the shows. So the main narrative of next week's episode won't really have anything to do with this week's episode apart from the fact that they are getting married. So at the end of last week's episode, that was called When Barry Met Harry, obviously the Council of Wales episode, they found out who Clifford DeVoe was, or at least they thought it was. So this episode was basically an origin story for the teacher, the thinker, Clifford DeVoe, and Barry Allen was spending the whole episode trying to prove that Clifford DeVoe was actually the person that he thought he was from the end of episode 6. And it was a quite interesting episode. We found out exactly how he obtained his power, his metahuman power, which turns out to actually be his weakness. The mechanic, who everyone thought was just his assistant, is actually his wife, which was quite obvious. But it's quite interesting how they did it. So Barry Allen actually ended up getting a restraining order against Clifford DeVoe as he was essentially stalking him, breaking into his house. But he didn't do the whole phasing thing with his face. So they somehow managed to take a picture of Barry Allen breaking into his house, which, I don't know, yeah, it's a bit fake, because who randomly has home security inside the house taking pictures randomly unless like a triple alarm went off. So I found that bit quite kind of fake. But the actress playing the mechanic, don't know who her name is, I think she's doing a really good role. So let's go to the origin. So essentially, he gained his powers through his wife, the mechanic, making the thinking cap, which essentially was hit by the particle accelerator. But before that, it was really interesting as the Reverse Flash returned. Well, no guys, he didn't really, but I might as well say that because essentially it was the Season 1 Harrison Wells, who was Ebar Thorne, had a conversation with the Thinker's wife, and then he was like, isn't Clifford DeVoe your husband? And she's like, yes, big fan of your work. So that was obviously an Easter egg. Well, no, not really. It was a reference to obviously what he's going to do, what the Clifford DeVoe is going to do in the future, as that version of Harrison Wells, well, actually it was Ebar Thorne in Harrison Wells' body, was from the future, so he knew exactly what was coming. But what I don't really understand is why did it take 4 years post-particle accelerator going off for Clifford DeVoe to reveal his ultimate plan? And what I find interesting is DeVoe actually said he's the smartest brain alive. He is the fastest thinker. But I don't know, I think it's really interesting because he's making out every move that Barry Allen makes. He's seen it coming, or he wanted him to do it, like right at the end where Barry confronts him and said, who are you? Then he's like, well, who are you? Are you the Flash or are you Barry Allen? Come on, that's not hard to work out. So it was kind of interesting how he kind of is giving us the perception that every move Barry Allen makes, he already knows about it. So the Thinker isn't really a metahuman, it's the thinking cap that makes him a metahuman. He's essentially dying, and without the thinking cap, without his little spaceship that comes down, he would die because his brain is too powerful for his body, and it's slowly making his body degenerate, or basically it's making his body, it's basically killing him, which is kind of interesting because this means that for me it doesn't make sense. So he knew about this as soon as he got the thinking cap, that it was going to essentially kill him, but they wait till Season 4 to bring him in. And if you remember, during Season 1, Clifford DeVoe supposedly died, and now he's not dead. But during the episode, it did say your husband died that night, so I presume he doesn't refer to himself as Clifford DeVoe. Originally, I thought the wheelchair was just a gimmick, as they were recycling the Reverse Flash storyline for Season 1. Even Cisco said that, but so that was a nice little touch. For me, Iris West, I like the character, but in the comic books, I don't know if you read the comic books, she's a journalist. She's not head of Team Flash. She keeps dishing orders out left, right, and center. I like the character. I just hate what they're doing with her. She's getting to the point where I'm struggling to watch Iris West scenes because she is getting so annoying. this episode there wasn't any flash scenes. There wasn't any kind of, nothing really happened. It was just letting the audience know, letting Team Flash know who the Thinker is and how much smarter he is. He basically said Harrison Wells is an idiot, and he's like, you can get all the smartest minds in the world and they won't be able to come anywhere near me, which is interesting actually. He brought up an interesting point when he said, you only figured out my name with all the Harrison Wells, you didn't find out what my powers are. So ultimately, I think what the Thinker wants is, the Thinker needs Barry Allen's help to help him live without the kind of the vortex room that, it's kind of like Superman, where like he can charge himself back up with this device. So essentially, I think he wants Barry Allen's body, because obviously Speedster's body will generate really, really fast constantly. So I presume that's what he wants. I'm not going to say he wants Barry Allen's body, but I don't think this is going to be a villain like Savitar, like Reverse Flash, who actually wanted to try to kill Barry or hurt Barry's family, because realistically speaking, this villain hasn't actually done one single thing yet in terms of hurting anyone. Yes, the samurai in the pilot episode, well, episode 1, did actually take Iris, but that was just to kind of get Barry to remember himself. But I really hope these symbols that we were seeing everywhere actually come back and aren't going to be like lost throughout the couple next episodes, as we know that the Flash writers have a problem with keeping continuity throughout the rest of the season. So we are fastly approaching the mid-season finale, really, really fast. We've only got 2 episodes before it's over. We've got Crisis on Earth X Part 3, because obviously it starts on Supergirl, goes to Arrow, then goes to Flash, and then we have Don't Run. So we know we're going to have a face-off with the Thinker and the Flash during the Christmas episode, which I think is the 12th of December, and I think there's a break. But I did read somewhere there wasn't actually going to be a break, but I'm not sure. They do give out a lot of misleading information. So it's going to be very interesting, because for me, I still think the Thinker is a boring villain. I mean, he's revealed himself, yes. We know his origin story. It's a kind of interesting origin story, but it is a bit boring and generic, because do you not think if he was dying, he would have came out sooner rather than, I don't know, I guess you could say he's going to die by the end of the season if he doesn't get Barry Allen's body, or Barry Allen doesn't somehow help him. But what's interesting is how are these 9 metahumans going to be helping the Thinker get what he wants from Barry Allen? There's a lot of rumours, theories going around that the Thinker wants to put Barry Allen in jail, he's going to trap him in some Speed Force prison, or the Flash of the trial of the Flash. I can't understand that, because after watching that episode, the only thing you can really come out of that episode is he wants Barry Allen's body, and we got the origin story, which essentially is the particle accelerator that gave the Thinker his power. But essentially he knew it was going to happen, he knew it was going to fail. So I really do like the mechanic. I think she's the best character at the moment. We didn't get no elongated man this episode. I don't know where he was. Did he just randomly disappear for an episode? Wally West returned from Blue Valley. There was some connection with Teen Titans, I guess you could say. I can't remember the exact quote, but it did hint that it was doing something with the Teen Titans. So is that hinting that he's going to go to the Titans show? A lot of people don't really presume he needs to be on the show anymore, because it's the fastest mind versus the fastest mind versus the fastest man alive. So it's pointless having 2 speedsters around, to be honest. But overall, it was a good episode and gave some context. We need this origin story a lot earlier, because so far the general perception of the Thinker is a really bad villain. He's going to have to do a hell of a lot to change my opinion in the next couple of episodes. But it was good to see Barry being depressed. Well, not depressed Barry, but he was going back to being obsessed Barry, because remember, during the first season, he was obsessed with finding out who really killed his mother. Anyway, guys, sorry I've gone on for a bit too long, seeing there's not really much happening in this episode. Anyway, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. That would be awesome. And I will catch you in another video very soon, guys. Hit that bell button down below to join the notification squad, and I will see you soon. Catch ya later.